I always kind of thought the whole beauty is pain thing is something that is really true, like something you have to go through, especially as a black girl getting your hair done. It ain't true.
Head high, chest up, and catch that frame, 'cause beauty is my name.
What up, beauty gang? Halfrican Beaute here, and today I'm bringing you guys a video I've been wanting to do for a very long time now. A lot of my OG beauty members know this. I said I was going to do this video a while ago, and it is finally here. The wait is over. But before I hop into this video, if you are new to Beauty Gang and you ain't never heard of us, sis, we don't know where you've been at, but we are so glad that you found us. This Beauty Gang is hella stupid lit over here. If you don't believe me, go ahead and check the comment section below, and you will see multiple Beauty Gang members vouching for the fact that we are hella stupid lit. So after done that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell button so you know each time I post a new video. And without further ado, let's hop into this conspiracy theory, sis. So as you can tell by the title, I am basically calling out or expressing my opinion on why I feel like protective styles aren't all that protective. I have gone through a nice heaping helping of protective styles throughout my lifetime. I've done some to myself, I've gotten them done by others. I feel like I have a pretty good experience and understanding of the pros and cons of protective styling. So I'm just going to be naming a couple of reasons why I don't feel like protective styles are all that protective. That's not to say they're not beneficial. They're not like absolutely atrociously awful, but I do feel like they're a little bit overhyped in the department of saying protective. I personally feel like it should be changed to like break hairstyles, you know, where you just need a break. Maybe like break styles, but not protective styles. So one of my reasons for having this conspiracy theory and feeling like protective styles don't really protect much at all, a lot of them tend to be tight. You be having like bumps all around the perimeter of your head. I know for me personally, especially in that kitchen area, them neck biters, if it's too tight back there, I have bumps lined on the back of my neck, y'all. Whenever that's happening, a style is way too tight. Therefore, it's way more detrimental than it is protective. So that's one of my things. I'm just like, how are we gonna call a lot of these hairstyles protective when really they're damaging our hair? It's creating too much stress. I have had my nice fair share of that experience, and thankfully, girl Moji, I've collabed with her a couple times on my channel. She is the first and only braider I've ever experienced where after she's done braiding my hair, it doesn't hurt at all. There's not that first night pain, having trouble sleeping, or anything like that. She is amazing, and I never knew it was possible. I always kind of thought the whole beauty is pain thing is something that is really true, like something you have to go through, especially as a black girl getting your hair done. It ain't true. I definitely encourage you not to settle on just any old hairstylist to be all up in your hair. There are people out there who do know how to braid correctly, do your hair, and take proper care of it so that your hair doesn't experience anything detrimental just because you were trying to take a break for yourself. Another reason I feel like protective styles aren't all that protective is because a lot of times you end up with hella breakage and a lot of hair loss, and I'm just like, I put my hair in this style to protect it and now I'm losing it. There are two hairstyles that immediately come to mind in terms of what I've experienced in my past when I get the most breakage or hair loss. Most breakage tends to be, unfortunately, my low sleek buns, you guys. They are so cute and so bomb for the first couple of days. Personally, it might be on me because I try to keep them in for as long as possible because it's supposed to be like a protective style, like I needed a break. Sometimes when I do a low sleek bun, I will keep it in there minimum a week. But because of that, I actually took a video the last time I did it. I ended up getting crazy breakage. Like my hair wasn't like that when I was first doing the hairstyle. At least I don't recall it being that way. So I'm like, yo, I got hella breakage from this style because it's so much like tension and pulling, and I don't take it out at night. Another hairstyle that I tend to get a decent amount of hair loss from, I've noticed, is Marley Twists. Actually, I think it's more so because that hair is so coarse, like it's really rough, and we're putting it on our hair, and yes, it holds the style, it looks cute at the end of the day, but I don't really know if it's all that worth it. So I'm not a huge fan of Marley Twists as much anymore because I notice whenever I take it down, the hair loss is a little too high for my liking. Speaking of the takedown process, that brings me to my next thing of why I don't feel like protective styles are all that protective. Because, for example, if you have product buildup, if you're someone like me who likes laying your edges and stuff throughout your protective styles or whatever, it's obviously going to be product buildup. Let's be in the mind frame that this is like box braids and Marley Twists, right? And they're like individual, obviously. So I'm constantly slaying and laying my edges throughout the whole protective style. When it's finally time to take it down, when I'm getting to that braid or that area where like I used to manipulate my edges a lot to make sure they're slayed, there's always that product buildup there, right? It's like this gunk type of thing. In order to like properly take down the twist or whatever like section you're taking down right there with the product buildup, obviously it's going to take a little bit more manipulation, which therefore causes a little bit more stress on that section, which therefore causes hair loss. So although I'm like the queen of always laying my edges, like I don't feel complete without it, I do notice when I put my hair in protective styles and I'm laying my edges for that month or so that it's in, when it comes to to taking it down because the buildup and gunk that happened as I laid my edges throughout that month kind of takes a lot of manipulation to get that gunk out. Sometimes people even comb through it, which is probably really bad. I can already imagine so much hair coming out if you are combing out the gunk. My gosh. Another thing too, when it comes to taking down your hair, obviously this is kind of on you or on whoever you trust to take down your hair. Sometimes you might cut too much or too high and you end up cutting your real hair. I cannot tell you how many people I know of that's had like long hair protective style, and like to speed up the takedown process, they'll cut a little too high and they will end up cutting their real hair. So when it's all taken out, it's like kind of choppy. I guess that's not all that much on the protective style. That's kind of on you, but I'm just saying these are things that tie into why I don't feel like they're the most protective. Another reason I feel like they're not that protective, I did touch on a little bit, but I just want to be very clear, make sure you guys hear me on this. Protective styles tend to thin our edges. Out of any and all protective styles, to be honest, I feel like our edges are the ones that take the hit the most. Off rip, they're already pretty like weak. They're pretty much the thinnest part of our hair, right? And then we start adding tension to it, adding weight to it, manipulating them every day, and man, our edges take a hit whenever we do protective styling. Whether it be like you have Marley twists or braids or whatever, you're constantly putting it up in a bun or a ponytail, that's constantly tugging at them. Our poor edges, our poor edges. Although I don't really have a cure for how to solve it, because at the end of the day, you keep doing protective styles or whatever, your edges are going to be manipulated. So what I tend to do nowadays when I'm rocking protective styles or whatever, I am always putting Jamaican black castor oil and or wild growth hair oil on my edges. It's not going to completely save them from any thinning or any hair loss, but I just feel like they're like a protective layer, you know, like just to let my edges know I see you, I feel you, I got you, you know, and then sometimes they come through for me. Now, I will say out of all protective styles, my absolute favorite is wigs. However, you do have to again be cautious of the edges when it comes to wigs. If you are laying them down, whether it be glue, which I never use, to secure your wig, most of the time your edges do kind of take a hit a little bit because you're supposed to do it like right before your edges. But if you're someone who has a small forehead like me or whatever, there is no having the wig like down here. That just doesn't look right. So although wigs are my absolute favorite protective style, it's what grew the crap out of my hair. I get that question all the time. How did you grow your hair? It's literally wigs. Sis, wigs grew the crap out of my hair because it just had months and months to just chill in cornrows under a wig. But what was constantly manipulated during those months and months were my edges. I would say to be cautious of your edges if you're doing wigs, and to always take it off when you feel a little bit of tension. You can feel when your wig is sliding or when it's getting kind of old, it's time to refresh it. I feel like a lot of people kind of like play it off and pretend like, oh, I'll be good, and then every day it's sliding more and more, and as it's sliding, it's not just sliding and lifting up, it's sliding and taking some of your hair with it. So just be cautious of that. Now, the safest protective style I would probably say, where you don't have to worry about as much damage happening to your hair, is twists. Whether it be 2-strand twists, mini twists with your real hair. That is probably dang near the safest protective style you can do. Twists aren't as harsh on your edges, they don't pull as much, they don't cause a lot of tension like that. They're like literally a very chill protective style. But I do remember, like as a little girl, I would hate it because I didn't feel like it was the cutest hairstyle ever. You do get a lot of shrinkage from mini twists, so I definitely get why a lot of people don't go for like, oh, I want mini twists. They're not the cutest, but they probably are the safest. And then protective styles that you should be cautious of. I'm not saying never to wear these again. I'm not saying that I'll never wear them again. I'm just saying protective styles ain't really protecting our hair the way we think it is. So hairstyles to be cautious for: Marley Twists. As I stated, that hair is super coarse and super rough for our hair, and I don't know about you guys, but when I take it down, my hair always kind of tangles in it. It's always some type of snag I get every time. Other style is low sleek buns. I love them dearly, but that breakage ain't cute, and I don't even be having mine tight. It's just a matter of like this front hair having to be pulled to the back. If you've seen any of my low sleek hairstyle videos, it does take a lot of manipulation to get it as flat as possible, so be cautious. Another hairstyle is like box braids. People love box braids. That's such a beautiful hairstyle, but it is a little dangerous and tends to cause a lot of tension. Now, I do love that somebody came up with the concept of knotless braids. So instead of having the hair like start at your root and being tight and blah blah blah, people are starting with someone's real hair and then attaching the feet in hair as they go. I think that's a great idea. I think it causes way less tension and is a much healthier way of styling your hair in braids. I'm definitely planning on getting them soon, by the way. Stay tuned. Another one to be cautious of is cornrows. I know cornrows has been in the black community for centuries. Obviously, they've evolved over time to the point where like they are stitching cornrows, feed-in braids, whatever you want to call it. Like they look bomb, but they aren't always the best for them edges. That's usually when people really get them bumped. So that's what I was talking about in the first tip of finding a hairstylist that you can really trust, who really knows how to braid hair and not hurt you or damage your hair. Then another style is sew-in, sis. I used to be a sew-in queen back when I was fine with putting a lot of like heat on my hair and stuff like that. I don't wear sew-ins anymore, but it's definitely a hairstyle to be conscious of because of your leave out. A lot of people end up having like leave out this heat damage, but their hair that was protected under the weave is okay. Or even like having a leave out and the tight cornrows they have to do, which they sew the weave into, are usually like just a little too tight. So I just want you guys to be cautious of these hairstyles. I don't want you to think that you can't do them anymore or feel like, oh my god, what am I gonna do now? It's none of that. It's just to be cautious and make sure you're giving your hair the proper TLC it needs during those protective styles, because they're not as protective as we've been trained to think over the years. Like I said, personally, I feel like the name should be changed from protective styles to break hairstyles. Like I need a break, but that's obviously not gonna happen. So just be conscious and aware of the fact that just because you're going into a protective style doesn't mean you need to just, you know, forget all about your hair and be like, okay, I'm good for however long you keep it in. That's not how it really works. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If any of you guys have any tips on how to have a healthy protective styling time period or whatever, what you do to continue to protect your hair while it's in protective styles, please don't hesitate to comment below. If you have any like protective style horror stories that you've experienced and how you've overcome it, please don't hesitate to comment that below. If I said something in the video that you agree to or can relate with, don't hesitate to comment that below. Like I love seeing you guys' opinions and take on things. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful and that you feel a little bit more woke so that you guys can all continue having a very healthy hair journey. Yeah, y'all, that is all I have for you guys. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're new. Beauty Gang is clearly lit, and we're gonna have healthy edges, healthy hair, healthy protective styles, all 2020 and beyond. No excuses. And until next time, guys, bye.
Move your body cause you're loving the way that you walk. Move your body if you're loving the way that you talk. One time if you're confident. Clap 2 times cause you own it. Never gave a damn about what they say, cause you handle all your business on a day by day. Head high, chest up, and catch that frame, cause beauty is your name.